Please rise. Court is now in session.
Love, strength, Fighting for Justice is the podcast. Fighting spelled with a P-A. Serving Philly in the counties and the tri-states. Speak to change people's minds, yeah, we don't see hate. If you ever want to question law, yeah, let's debate.
Welcome back, guys. Another episode of Fighting for Justice.
Another episode. We're going to make this a quick one. So let's jump right in. Why don't you start with your girl?
Oh, yeah, my girl. Yeah, Brittany Griner. Yeah, sentenced to 9 years today. 9 years for possession of marijuana in Russia.
Damn, that's rough.
It was something else, though. It was possession and something else.
Yeah, what? Trafficking?
Yeah, I mean, that's
smuggling.
Smuggling. So,
but that's what she did, right? Did she not smuggle it in?
Yeah, I guess that would be what she did.
Right? They just have. We don't have that law. But
damn, 9 years.
9 years, yeah.
That is a long time.
I know I've taken a pretty strong approach to this, but I still don't care.
wow. She's a sentenced prisoner now, so it'll be easier for Biden to get her out of there. I mean, that's
and I'm just kidding, right? I care. I don't want anybody to do 9 years, right? That's insane. Here's what I know: there will be some kind of trade. You know what I mean? Like LeBron to the Cavs, like
some kind of trade.
They're talking now. You know what I mean?
They had to sit back and let the Russian legal system play out.
Right.
It's played out. She's a sentenced prisoner now. Now the State Department jumps in and was like, all right, who do you want back?
So here's what I was
That's
talking with
happen.
JJ yesterday about it, and I want to see what you think of this, because I said part of my problem with this, we know how Russia kind of works, right? They love to...
Do we? I don't know if we know how Russia works.
Well, us who read books, but I mean, anyway, Russia loves to intermingle in, other politics, and we know they were involved in our election. They love that kind of shit, right? They're masters at manipulation on social media. So the question I had, if the media in the United States didn't blow this up, right, to mass proportions, right? Brittany Griner was everywhere. Would they have cared as much?
Who? The Russians?
Yeah, because we basically just gave them like the golden coin of negotiating, right? Because they're like, look how much they care. Well, now we can up our price, right? How about this? We want that dude back, the gun runner. Now they want some criminal who's in Germany, right? He's sentenced to life there or something, but this is what I mean. It's like swapping. It's like a LeBron to the Cavs kind of trade. Yeah, the United States was like, we'll give you the gun runner back. And they were like, well, we want the gun runner and the guy that's in jail for life. Right? So, at what point, would it have been this ridiculous if it wasn't this so sensationalized in the United States?
No. But that's what we
not
talked about this before. Like, the reason is because it's covered on two platforms, right? Because ESPN's involved. Because it's a sports figure.
I get it.
So there's a massive audience that knows about this that would never know about, a diplomat or a spy or somebody else that gets arrested over there. Never. It wouldn't even make the news.
Right.
But if you pulled up ESPN, like if you went to ESPN.com today, that's the front. That's the big article.
And I will agree with you on all of that. My question.
He has a different point though. His point is,
did we do her harm?
Right. Should we have blown it up? Because maybe if we didn't make it such a big deal, maybe Biden could have got a better deal. Could have got that's his point. What do you think?
I mean,
if it wasn't,
how are you going to stop people from writing about it? How are you going to stop people from?
No, and that's so. Listen, I'm not. You can't. You won't. I'll be the first to tell you. It never happened.
I mean, in China you can, but not here.
Right.
Right.
Let's just completely theoretical. Let's just theoretical. If did the media not do her harm? Right. If it was just if it wasn't just everywhere, do we really think I'd love, and I don't know if we'll ever know this, right? But would they really have given her 9 years, right? Would it have been this big thing? Would she just have been in and out, right? She had some weed and they give her a fine and then she plays basketball and leaves. Because if they really have no reason to turn this into a giant public thing, right? Russia at least, then what the hell? It's not beneficial to them. They don't give a shit, right? At least from what how they operate. They're very selfish.
Like I said to you yesterday, I think that your hypothetical is flawed in many ways just because there's no true way for us to know it. Because the truth of the matter is look, she is a superstar here. And even if you want to call her, she's not a LeBron James superstar, right?
Yeah.
But there are a lot more people who know her name than know mine. Right? She is a star here. So you take a star and you put her in another country where she also was known there because she was playing professionally there as well. So I don't believe there was a way to keep a Brittany Griner quiet. You know what I mean? Like, so like, I don't think your hypothetical really can even happen. It could have been worse, right? She could have been more famous, but she was already too famous to like just keep people quiet. You know what I mean? She is the highest paid athlete in her own sport. She is LeBron James of the WNBA. That's why people are comparing her to LeBron, because she's essentially that. But the NBA just has more viewers. They have more people. So he's bigger. But there's no way he was going to take Brittany Griner and people were just going to be quiet about it. Nobody was going to know. So I think that like that's why it caused it. And to me,
I'll give
the
you
thing that I like though is that we're getting a veteran back. So yeah. I'm cool with that. Like that to me, like, look, we always talk about how much we love the military, how much we love our vets, but like this bull's over there probably is a spy for us, right? So he gets caught, and now we just leave him over there. Like, I'm okay with that, with him being part of the deal. Let's get him back over here, and if we get Brittany too, then great. I say it's a fair trade.
Yeah, I think it may even be in reverse, Dave. I think there may have been. The government may have been there was more sensationalism towards this from the media in the hopes that they would get Russia to release her. I mean, I think the media covered more than they possibly would have in a different situation to try to pressure Russia into doing something different. I don't know.
How'd it work?
Didn't work.
We don't know yet.
I mean, but
she got 9 years because.
Yeah,
but if
she didn't get 9 years because of the media coverage. Oh, okay. No fucking way.
So you know that for sure, though.
But you don't know that either.
No, but no, how no one's ever going to know that.
Exactly.
Why
so
she got 9 years.
You're going to sit here and be like, "That is dumb," but you know that you can't know the other side either. Here's the deal: no one knows. That's why I'm asking. If we knew, I wouldn't ask.
Right, but you definitely feel like we shouldn't have covered. I don't know that I agree.
Yeah,
with that.
I think you have a pretty strong opinion on it.
No, I have a.
He definitely does.
I have a ferocious opinion about this.
Can we be real that his opinion, even he had to pause on his opinion when Trump said something?
Yeah, that's what's fucked up. You sent me an article like, "Oh, Trump agrees with you." Now I can't even have my own opinion. I can't even say this is stupid. Yeah. And because here's what Brittany Griner gets arrested in the United States for weed. Okay, no one. It's in the news for 24 hours, and no one gives a shit ever again. Okay,
that's correct.
Yeah, cool. And she gets arrested in another country. We could have just said she got arrested in Russia for weed and moved on. Instead, we were like, she's in Russia, so that means that they're going to do something horrible now. And we kept saying that, and they were like, well, fuck it. We will do something horrible. 9 years. Like, yeah. No, because that's definitely, Russia is definitely just by the board. They do everything normal. They don't care. They're not.
But I mean, but to your point,
I agree with you. Who the fuck knows what they're doing over there?
Right. Yeah, so let's give them more incentive.
I don't know.
That's like being like, yeah, they're going to go into Ukraine, and they're like, oh shit, they know we're not going to go.
Can we admit for the first time he's moving the goddamn line? Like, this is not me moving the line this time, because the last time his point was that Russia is unpredictable. It doesn't matter what you do because they do whatever they want, right? On the one hand,
so don't give them incentives.
You can't incentivize somebody that doesn't care about anything.
Don't give them an idea.
That's what I don't care means. It means there are no incentives.
Don't give them the idea. Oh my God, they're going to keep her in jail for 30 years.
No,
sounds good. Do you have any other ideas?
I need you to say he's moving the line this time.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, there's no line. Here's
goddamn
the deal.
Line mover.
No one cares, and you guys still don't care. That's the funny thing.
You don't think that if somebody in this country got arrested and prosecuted for possession of marijuana and got 9 years, that wouldn't make the news?
I'm going to
Russia
absolutely
tomorrow.
Would. That's it.
I'm
turning over the bar license. I'm flying into Russia with weed. And
the reason it's a story.
When I get out in 3 days, I'm coming back on the podcast.
No, the hell you're not, because we have bills to pay. You're not going anywhere until these bills are paid. Then you take your ass to Russia.
I guarantee. If you went over there now and you got arrested for weed, I don't think we'd ever see you again.
This is
You're done.
This is purely for research purposes. So
no. You ain't doing no research while our names are on these loans together.
I can look you guys in the eye and go, I got in and out in 3 days.
We'd never see you again.
In and out.
I don't think you would ever see you again.
It's all good. He's got somebody named Strenfeld with her last name on it too. He ain't going nowhere.
That's true.
Exactly. He's in here in the man cave talking what we like to call shit.
Never mind.
Which is one of his specialties, by the way.
I'm never. Josh, don't act like you can go to Russia.
And we're leaving
I can't even get you to go to King of Prussia.
I'm not. I would never go to fucking Russia. I wouldn't set foot in that fucking country. Are you kidding me?
Russia. You want to go? You want to go to Malvern for a hamburger? No, I can't. All right.
Nah.
Is it 4:30? Nah, I gotta go home.
Kids, bro.
I'd be able to.
I would not set foot. Dude, you could be walking down the street in Moscow, get abducted, thrown in a van, and no one's ever see you again.
I know.
That, right? There's
Exactly.
no way I'm going to a country like that.
All right, so moving on.
I'm
Since
going to
we're
prove a
speaking-
point.
I hope
No,
you do.
you're not. You're not going anywhere. Let's
It's a long ass
leave it there.
flight, bro.
Speaking of kids,
Not if-
we've got 2 topics on kids. So, something that's happening a lot more, well, not a lot more, but I'm seeing more people get charged with it is basically assaulting children, spanking, capital punishment.
Yeah.
Where do you guys stand on it? For it, against it? Why not?
Should we spank our kids?
Yes.
I really
I-
want to
I-
hear what the
yeah,
father
absolutely.
has to say.
I mean,
Only dad in the group says absolutely.
I got spanked when I was
He
a
says
kid.
absolutely.
I got spanked and it taught me a lot of shit, man. Like that was scary.
That's why
getting
you
fucking
are as
spanked.
fucked up as you are. Now it all makes sense.
I got a couple. I had like 3 in my lifetime, but
we all did. I think. I
was
mean,
gonna say, I've just
especially you, like
It-
when
it-
you
it-
were in school, teachers could still hit you, right?
No. Well, I get the joke,
Right?
but yeah, no,
I get the joke
I get it.
because
No.
you're old.
Right? Yeah.
It wasn't
No, I get
illegal
it.
yet.
No, it was still, it was frowned upon.
Yeah, you get cracked with a ruler.
That was Catholic school where they think that
Yeah,
where the
yeah,
nuns
yeah.
use a ruler.
Whatever, man.
But I was
Yeah.
always good to like push to the line, say something real smart, and then like every parent has like a button, right? And it's usually when they call you by your full government. At that point, I feel like I knew that the next thing I said was gonna be met with some kind of violence. So
Yeah.
like I would push to that line and then stop.
It's a deterrent. You got to be able to deter behavior.
But the law right now is like taking a weird stance to where they're punishing, right? They're charging parents for like spanking their kids, right? Like, and where's the line? Where like, so you remember Adrian Peterson gets because he's leaving like welts. Well, a lot of people.
Well,
get,
he was hitting them with like a stick or something too.
My grandmother had a belt.
Listen, people get hit. People. Get
Oh, I'm
hit.
not saying they don't.
She
I'm-
never used it, but
I'm
she had
not-
a belt.
I won't use.
You're
no
asking
names.
me. You're asking me what I condone and what I don't, and I'm saying I would condone spanking with a ham. I'm not going to whip my kid with a belt or a stick or whatever the hell Adrian Peterson was
Switch.
using. A switch. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he got that from his grandparents.
I bet he did.
'Cause that-
But you're talking different. I mean, I think that's a different standard.
so
But-
you're saying okay for spanking like hand, but
Hand to ass is
But
okay.
hand to ass is only gonna last for like what 3 to 4 years. Like what happens when they're 12? Hand to ass ain't good enough.
Oh,
no
well,
more.
when they're 12, I mean, yeah, I'm not spanking
Yeah,
my
nah,
kid
that's
when
when
they're
the
12.
juvenile system kicks in.
When they're 12,
I call the cops on my own kid immediately.
their period of learning what's right and wrong and what's a spankable offense and what's not you would assume they've already developed that in their brain by then. I had when I was 12, and my kids are going to be the same. I mean, I would hope they're the same way. I mean, they're going to know. When you're 12 years old, you're old enough to know certain things that
Right
you're not
from
when
wrong.
you're 4, right?
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Well, I think here's a stance I took on it is that I think in my culture though, a lot of times like black people don't really have the time to like sit down and tell you to learn the lesson the right way, right? Like, hey babe, like this is why we don't say these things, because if you're out in public, and now not in my generation and maybe not in my mom's generation, but from stories my grandmom told me, is like when she was a little kid, so like my great grandmother sometimes, and I know my grandma, so like mine right out the mouth, I'm the same way, so I must have got it from her. But if she was getting ready to say something to the wrong person, like everybody could die, right? Like it could be life or death if you say the wrong thing at the wrong moment. And sometimes shut up is the quickest way you can teach that lesson. Like I don't have time to teach it to you any other way. And so I think that now that we're learning, listen, things are getting a little bit better to where maybe we can learn, but you still, as a black man, you still have to learn, like, yo, when the cops are here, this ain't the time for you to be feeling yourself. This is the time for you to shut right up. Let me as an adult handle this. And sometimes violence is the only way, the quickest way, rather. I won't say the only way, but the quickest way to teach a lesson. And I would like to see us move from reaching for what we know, which I think is like spanking our kids so quickly, to let's get back to that, using it as a last resort instead of just another reason to do it.
I think it's definitely it's definitely a last resort. Like I'm not gonna but if it's a continue, like if I tell him to do something and there's just right,
How many times you say
and there's continual disobeyment. You
how many
kind
times you
of
telling your kids before you hand the ass?
I mean, it depends on
How tired you are.
how tired I am, how tired I am, what time of day it is. Like if it's but
I always feel like there's got to be a better way. You know, like,
I
I'm
mean-
the most petty person on the planet. I can out petty a 4-year-old. Like, you'll learn your lesson. Your life will suck.
I don't know, though.
it's easy to sit here and say you can out petty a 4-year-old.
You know what's cool?
If you've got one living in your house,
The cool.
it's
the
different.
cool thing is,
I agree with you, and I don't
for
have
me-
none.
Yeah.
For me, this will be completely hypothetical forever. I won't ever have to know how to discipline a child.
No, I have to say, listen, my last relationship, I mean, this is why I kind of disagree with you. So I don't have any kids of my own, but I mean, she had a kid, and man, this little kid got up under my skin in like an instant.
How old was the kid?
Like 14.
Oh, all right.
Yo,
Okay.
I gripped this little boy up so quick. And I was just like, I had him in my hands. I was like, I should kill you. And then I was like, what are you doing? Let him go. So then I let him go, but I'm like, yo, adults don't get me mad that fast. And I think what had pissed me off was
they have a special way.
it was a gift. And honestly, to this day, I don't think anybody's got me that mad that fast. And I think what got me was because I was like, yo, I pay for you to like live. I pay for everything you do. And you have the nerve to even like talk back, but then to talk back in a disrespectful way, man, for the first time, I think I saw black. And then after I came back, maybe like a few years later, I called my stepdad and I was like, you know, when I was younger, my bad. I was probably an asshole to you. And you probably wanted to grip me up.
Yeah. So this 14-year-old, is his dad like in the picture? Like, was he raised?
Yeah.
Was it was his dad involved in raising him? I guess is my question.
I guess that's a question for like each person, like not in the typical way that you would think, but like, I mean, he's a good kid, but he was a kid, you know what I mean? And like, they just don't listen the same. Like they just don't. I've told this kid some things, and then like 5 seconds later, he'd be like, "You never told me." I was like, "Dog, I literally like I can still see the words coming out of my mouth going into your ears, like."
That's why you need the court reporter at the house. Seriously.
I'm
The
not.
steno.
Yeah, you need a steno.
I'm not cut out for the parenting stuff. I mean, just look at my dogs. You know, I'm the kind of parent that's like, go ahead. Like,
Y'all better not be in that toilet.
yeah. Like, here's the deal.
Well, look, man. Then you saying that makes me glad that you're not going to have kids.
No, there's no reason to have.
Because your kids would just be fuck ups, not fuck ups, but like just.
Oh no, that's
you know,
probably the proper.
I was about to say, fuck
would
ups
have-
is probably right.
They would have no. They would just run amok, no discipline.
I saw a movie the other night, and
Like-
he ran in and was like, his dad was at work. I don't know. He was like the president of some company, and the dad, like, it was one of these corny horror movies. It was beautiful. He comes, he's like, "Hey, Dad, I want to see you at work," and he just pulls out like 100. He's like, "All right, get out of here." I was like, that would be my parenting style. Like, all right, just whatever. Here,
Just get out of my face.
let's go. Dad, I got arrested. Doesn't matter. Go here. Hire a lawyer.
All right, so let's wrap with one more. I kind of want to ask this to multiple parents. So when we get other guests on here, I want this question because
What's with the questions about parenting?
it intrigues me the like how it shuts their brain off. I swear to God, when you have a kid like custody, it just something goes off in their brains of being a parent to where like you guys can no longer be logical when it comes to your kids. Right? It's like everything else, parents are very like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense." When it comes to their kid, it's like, "Oh, he could never have done." Ma'am, your kid is 25. He shot somebody on videotape in broad daylight in front of 38 people. Yeah. And you're telling me, "But he could never." He did.
Yeah.
All right? That is like a sickness is what I call it.
It is.
Parent sickness.
Because it's kind of an indictment on the parent too, right?
I think they're all crazy.
Well, yeah, but
my
like-
own mother is very crazy when it comes to me. Like,
All parents are crazy.
But if you're a fuck up when you're 25,
Listen,
Doesn't
Josh,
that-
all parents are
I
crazy.
don't know if that's
All right.
necessarily fair though, because like I mean, as a parent, what you can really only do your best and then hope.
True.
right? Like, so
Yeah.
like,
You can only teach them so much.
right.
Yep.
Like somebody raised, the Melinda, like somebody raised the school shooters. Somebody raised all these bad,
Yeah,
like
but differently. They were raised, of course, but raised differently.
right. But like, is it fair to just blame the parents? Like maybe
No,
the
I'm not.
parents
No, I'm not
tried
blaming.
and-
No. But that's that. I'm not. They don't. The parents don't get 100% of the blame, but somewhere. I mean, they have to be. It's
Yeah,
not.
so-
They're not like off the hook completely. I think.
Okay, all right. I kind of agree with that.
Your kids are a reflection on you a little bit. I mean, they are like how
No,
they
I agree
act
with that.
and how
I
they
agree with
behave.
that.
And that's why I say you should be able to beat them because, like,
I'm not disagreeing.
You
I
be
mean,
damn, you be damn. Like that's the thing. Don't you embarrass me out here.
yeah.
But that's what it always was. I mean, at least for me, it was just about respect of your parents. Like that's
Right.
why I never did anything too stupid, right? Because I was like, no
Yeah, but that got ingrained in you somehow.
well, that's
Yeah.
what I've always tried
By
to
your
figure out.
parents.
Because
But-
I mean, my parents never, it wasn't Muhammad Ali when I talked back. You know what I mean? We didn't have the boxing gloves on, but like I knew that was just not proper. You know what I mean? Like
I think it's because
I
the-
agree. Yeah, and I was the
I
same
know
way.
they
Like,
taught
I was
that
the
to
same
me.
way.
I know they
But
taught that to
they
me.
did.
But I'm
So-
just like,
That's because
it didn't take Muhammad Ali style training.
right,
is what
right.
I'm saying.
It's the timing of the whooping, right? Like one of my most memorable whoopings came from my grandma. Yeah, and it wasn't really even a
You
whooping.
probably
it was
deserved
just,
it. That,
Oh, I definitely did, and
You-
the adult
I
me
wish-
understands.
I wish there was someone now who could give you these kind of beatings. It would be phenomenal.
It's called a bank account. It gives me that beating every day. All right, but basically, my grandma, I poured this bowl of cereal.
Oh,
I
you
poured
t-
all the milk in this joint. It scarred me for life because I talk about it all the time.
Yeah, you've told me that.
But like I poured all the milk, and I would never stop until the cereal reached the top of the bowl, right? Now my grandma, I'm hard-working single mom, raised all these kids. She understands the value of this money. And she's like, "You're gonna drink all that milk you just poured in there."
Nice.
So I'm like, no problem. Cool.
Yeah.
So I eat the cereal, get done with the cereal, and it's literally
Yeah,
just a
the-
bowl of fucking milk.
Right.
I mean, like, I don't know what I was doing as a kid, but like, it was just a bowl. But now I'm like full, and I'm like, I can't drink all this milk. But she had already said, like, you're not getting up until the milk is gone. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm full. So I like try and drink the milk, and I start coughing, and I run to like the back door, and I let some of the milk drip off my lip. I was like, I can't drink no more. I threw up. Right? Kid logic. I was winning. And she looked at me and she snatched my little dumb ass up and she like threw me up she had like 2 or 3 steps and then like 10 maybe going up this way. And she threw me up those steps and dragged me up the rest. And I'm just crying the whole way. And I classify it as a whooping, but she really didn't even hit me. Right? It was just a
Yeah.
feat of strength
She
from
drugged
my
you.
grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, this little boy, I will kill him. Like,
Yeah.
I
Go
called
for her.
my mom. I was like, I want to come home. But to
Grandma just kicked my ass.
But to this day, I
And
don't.
your mom was probably like, "What'd you do?"
Yeah, I don't waste no milk.
Yeah.
You probably don't
Exactly.
even drink milk
No,
That's
to
what I
anymore.
mean.
this day, I drink almond milk now, dog.
You
I was
learned.
gonna say at that point you were like
You
soy
learned.
milk. That shit gives me PTSD.
The red top? No, I don't get that's for whoopings. Only bad kids drink the red top.
You learned.
I did learn. I learned a valuable lesson that day.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to talk about kid protection or are we going to wrap it?
Nah, that's it.
Well, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. Be blessed.
Stay
Y'all
safe.
know where to.
Yeah. Any other parenting questions? Make sure you call in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Call
parents.
Josh.
Yeah.
Call us and tell us why you're crazy.
Free parental advice. Call us up.
Josh gives
get-
one-on-one parenting
I'll
counseling.
give one-on-one parenting counseling.
Fight it for justice. Fight it for justice. Fight. Whoa.
We keep on fighting.
Wanna know the law? You know who to call.
We keep on fighting.
Problem with the law? You know who to call.